Saturday, February 28th, I believe the last day of the month, 2026. This is Disrupting a $100 trillion industry with me, Karush Koilu. I'm the founder of Zayuk. Zayuk is a property management technology company. We provide services, inspection services across commercial real estate, across HOA real estate, and in terms of their verticals. So you have the property condition assessment for commercial properties, and you have the reserve study for HOAs. And what we do that's different is we do a reality capture. We do create a lot of data for your AIs and for your vendors and for your property owners to understand. And I've been building this out for 2.5 years, just under. And although I have posted a lot, and I think I've really posted a lot more than maybe some other people, there are people in the industry who are very good with their social media, enterprises who do enterprise level distribution or marketing or advertisements or content. And then you have a lot who aren't very good. And against those people, I would say Zayuk is puts out a lot of content, but our product is nearly, when I hear customers speak about our product against competitors, I hear things like more sophisticated, a little bit more intricate, does a little bit more. And when I hear those things, I just think, you know, it's about distribution. And people talk about that. People nowadays are like, although I don't agree as someone who's architected a software system, distribution is gravely important. Absolutely. But we're in the age of social media where distribution is not so, even at the enterprise level, is not so straightforward as it used to be, where you really only had a few avenues to get the attention of the people that are stakeholders that can actually make a difference in your company, whether those are potential customers, potential business partners, whatever that may be. Your ability to distribute content through social media is a growth mechanism that didn't exist 20 years ago. It slightly existed, but the prevalence was much lower. The amount of time spent on screens was much lower across a much lower demographic of people. Whereas now you have the upcoming generation, digital native, Gen Z, grew up around the digital era, even younger than them, Gen Alpha, grew up in this digital era. And there are aspects where they want to detox on the digital, but things to them are way more digitally native inherently from their whole life. And including the media they consume. We see that, when I look at marketers or I talk to marketers, you hear that not necessarily lower quality content, but less production content is, I'm actually gonna put that back there, is doing very well. And people want authenticity, and that's not across every platform. You have TikTok where you can just rant off a little bit. You have Instagram where you might want to make a little bit more of a show, make a more sophisticated video. You have YouTube, and we spoke about this. Law by Mike, and I need to study him. I haven't studied him yet. But I actually need to send out a newsletter to homeowners right now. And I asked Claude to draft it, and they just produced a massive newsletter. And I mean, yesterday we saw what happened with Claude. I'm not really going to speak about that. There's a lot of current events now. But if you're not using AI, whether it's Claude, Grok, Gemini, OpenAI, ChatGPT, any of the other ones, you're really hurting yourself. All right, so this is okay. And I'm going to add this. It is a newsletter to homeowners about how important it is for direct financial connections. So we speak about, as a prop tech founder, property is about one, physical assets, but also accounting. There's money that goes through there, whether it's the tenant, the owner, the manager, the vendors, even sometimes the state in regards to taxes and maybe some other things like permits. But there's a lot of money that passes through there. So it is almost always, when you say top prop tech, FinTech integrated. And so having direct financial connections for HOAs is critically important, and it deleverages your stakeholders who aren't property owners. And that's what you want to do. And a lot of times, a board member, an executive within an HOA, they're like, oh, this is fine now. I'm here, I'm doing it. You do not want to be a board member in your HOA for 10, 15 years. One, you frankly, almost no one wants to do it. Two, when the people do want to do it, you know, other people around them should be making those question marks, saying, hey, do I really want this person to be, have unfettered access to the financials? And the reality is no, because it is both what Zayuk does above what other apps do is it gives context to stakeholders, where you can invite your vendors, you can invite your managers, you can invite your property owners to reference the same information as everyone else when it's happening. And it's not easy, but it will give your property, your owners, leverage, and it will help your manager manage your assets, especially if you have a decaying property. But you re-leverage yourself at the end of the day, which is one of the most important aspects of this, is re-leveraging yourself as a property owner. We'll see if this hits at all. All right, I really like it though. This because it just speaks about what is most important. So why this is what it came up with, and I might edit this. Why homeowners need direct financial connections. Most homeowners don't realize the balance of power in your HOA is almost entirely determined by who has access to the financial data. Vendors, property managers, and contractors are stakeholders, They have influence, but you're the property owner. Every dollar in dues, every reserve contribution, every special assessment comes from you. That's your equity on the line. So why do you usually find out about financial problems after the decisions have already been made? I might not do this. The gap is information, not intent. When reserve studies sit in PDFs updated every 3 years, when vendor invoices are held by management company, when you only see a budget summary once a year, the people closest to the data hold the leverage. You hold the risk. Wow, this is a fantastic essay. I might post this on LinkedIn. That directly affects your property value. Lenders check reserve fund health before approving mortgages. Buyers read financial statements before closing. A community with opaque finances suppresses your real estate value, resale value. A community with strong financial hygiene commands a premium, and that premium lives in your equity. Zayuk Safe gives homeowners and boards a shared live view of community finances, reserve components tied to real inspection data, vendor work logged against the contracts that authorized it, and budgets that update as conditions change rather than sitting frozen in last year's report. I don't like that. When your community's financial data is a living system and not a yearly PDF, accountability comes naturally, not because anyone is being adversarial, but because everyone is working from the same picture. Ask your board when the reserve study was last step updated. Ask how your invoices get approved. Ask if your reserves are on the track. These are your rights as an owner. If the answers are hard to get, that's the problem with solving. All right, boom. I'm excited to send this one out because it's just so I want to change this sentence to be less dramatic. The balance of power. All right, well, I don't like that sentence. Vendors. I might just get rid of that. I'm probably going to send this. All right, I'm going to read this out before I. All right, dear first name, vendors, property managers, and contractors are stakeholders. They have influence, but homeowners are the property owners. Every dollar in dues, every reserve contribution, every special assessment comes from them. That's real equity on the line. So, why do most communities find out about financial problems after the decisions have already been made? A gap in information. When a reserve study sits in some PDF updated every 3 years, when vendor invoices are held by a management company, when owners only see a budget summary once a year, the people closest to the data hold the leverage. Owners hold the risk. Direct financial connection flips that. When homeowners and boards share a live view of reserve fund balance levels, asset conditions, and approved invoices, everyone asks better questions. Problems surface earlier, and a $300,000 special assessment doesn't come out of nowhere. This is how property value is affected. Lenders check reserve fund health, buyers read financial statements, communities with opaque finances suppress resale value. Strong financial hygiene commands a premium. Zayuk gives homeowners and boards a shared live view of community finances, reserve components tied to real inspection data, vendor work logged against contracts that authorized it, and budgets that update as conditions change rather than sitting frozen in last year's report. When financial data is a living system and not a yearly PDF, accountability comes naturally. Not because anyone is being adversarial, but because everyone is working from the same picture. This is fantastic. I'm probably going to send that right now, and I might even post that on X. Yeah, I'll probably post on X right now, actually. Wow. Lot going on, lot going on. I need to get out of the X. I was just here to post something. I was just here to post something on social media. Oh, what is that, dude? Oh man. Finally. The reason I'm excited, guys, is because I'm not going to show you my X. It's too political, but I adjusted the thumbnail earlier today, and it looks like it works on X now, which is super exciting. Let me go one more on LinkedIn. Boom. And I think people talk about the disruption of AI and AI being, someone with AI is going to outperform you. And I saw the meme yesterday about the horses and cars, and it was like a man talking. It was obviously a meme and a cartoon, but it was a man talking to a horse, and the man saying, a horse that uses a car is going to outperform you. And that is what I think AI is going to be when these software systems are robust, developed, have their workflows towards their specific goals across corporations and industries. Yes, you need a human in the loop, but to the same degree, I don't know. Of course, I think human in the loop is important, and I don't want to belittle that. But the difference is the way we rethink the systems. And I think the systems are going to be completely rethought, especially when you consider most of this revolves around capital, money, budgeting, accounting. And accounting is in the process of being completely revamped through Web3, through direct financial connections, through stable coins. you have a hurricane of technology that, you know, even on the regulation side for crypto, you're seeing a lot more corporations. I mean, you saw JP Morgan Chase bringing out they I think they upped their tech budget significantly because they know that crypto is real, and granted, it's still going to be through the government. I mean, people who think that crypto is going to deleverage the government don't understand economics. Basic economics are the government exists to protect you. And we've seen it multiple times where these crypto holders, you own tens of millions of dollars in crypto, maybe more. You don't have the traceability in your funds, in your assets. It's not FDIC insured. There's no way that someone could see or stop a massive, $30 million transfer of Bitcoin. So you're not on the same economy, which means you don't get as much of the defense mechanisms that uh, a registered financial entity with the United States gets. Granted, there are certainly restrictions that you get to bypass, but at the same time, you are dealing with a lot of real world security based liability issues, real security operations. I'm not sure, how to get more deep than that. Um, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so I just posted that on LinkedIn. I'm probably going to send it on Qunity. What happened there? Let me check something. Dang. So unfortunately, I just have to go through something right now. So these are all verified. Ooh. Give me one moment. And so I'm going to have to go to Claude and fix something in my app because I use Unity as a mechanism to distribute content. And Unity is my second product. And then let me just go to logs. So, it is what it is. I'm personally actually excited to have a second startup. It's not as easy, granted, to do too. It's actually really difficult, but it's a completely different business, and that's what I like about it. It's a completely different business. It's a consumer business, whereas I wanted my first one to be a consumer business, Zayuk. It's not a consumer business, unfortunately. It is, well, not unfortunately. I enjoy having a B2B business and think that, you know, both of them are fun. I really, really am excited for the B2C. Just it seems a little bit more exciting. So I put that in Claude Code. I'm going to have Claude code that up and try and fix that for me. And then probably going to unfollow this person. Great. Great. And then actually earlier today, I tried to, and I told everyone this, I think, I got the thumbnail to work on X, and now it also works on LinkedIn too, which is very exciting. And then also my Opus Pro should be heading. Opus Pro is a clipping tool. So let me check out how that's working. Great, I got it. All right, so I'm gonna have to clip some stuff. This is fantastic. I did really great. My speaking ability has improved dramatically, and I used to attribute that to I used to attribute that to awareness and actually listening to myself speak in podcasts. Now it's because of AI. My diction, my ability to communicate, specifically in speech. I've been a great listener for a lot of my life, but when it comes to clarifying what I want to say, when it comes to making my point, when it comes to connecting subjects across my dialogue, I am much better at that. And I believe the reason for that is because of AI. AI has sharpened my communication skill because I communicate with it all the time. I have rich conversations with AI. Now, I don't have personal conversations with AI. They're all about coding and coding configurations and software architecture because and also putting out content and marketing. Now, definitely some personal things as well, but professionally, I communicate now through AI more than ever. I am expanding my writing through AI, and it's obvious. It comes out in my speech. These clips of myself speaking, that was a great clip. Not saying all of my clips are like that, but just a year or two ago, there would be a lot of ums and hms and ands, buts, whereas now it is much more fluid. And that is a richness in AI. I think people are completely overlooking. They're so scared of what this is that they aren't willing to dive really deep into it. Maybe they are, but that's how you're going to avoid being scared by it is by diving deeper into it, not by avoiding it, not by avoiding it. So let me see this. That's a fantastic thing. That's going straight to LinkedIn. Let's go. What was that? I'm going through this, and there was just like some point where I just stopped. I gotta remove that pause. 24 seconds of pausing across 2 minute 8 seconds. It's a lot of pauses. Okay, so there I did say, is also one of my things. I say, a lot. All right, I know where to cut that. That's getting cut right there at 124. Boom, boom, boom. Save changes. All right, so I have two clips now. I'm going to post both. I'm just gonna post this, man. Forget it. I'm gonna post it on YouTube. I'm gonna post it on LinkedIn. I'm just gonna say, call it a day, dude. Call it a day. Call it a day. It's definitely not a day, but it's a lot less. And I need to get that going later. I'm so stoked. I love putting out videos. It's so much better than than written text. Written text is a joke. Written text compared to boom, 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 boom. Go, 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 go. That's awesome, dude. I just put out that video across 4 platforms, and I am stoked as a dog with a bone. As happy as a dog with a bone. I am so happy getting content out. Nothing makes me more joy than to put content out. I kid you not. It is to do it consistently, to do it well, to care as if it's my profession because it is my profession. Mm. Man, oh man. All right, all right. Well, well, well. What an exciting time. Now you just have to get ready to post more stuff, dude. More stuff. Less stuff? No, more stuff. Give me one moment, guys. And I have to be ready to get that second video out, and then the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. I'm going to start, and we're going to move on to 2 videos a day, almost surely. So let's see. And this is all in the pursuit of set. Dude, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. It's not going to be easy, but man, it's way more exciting. I'll tell you that. It's way more exciting. "19 seconds average view time." That's a solid amount of view time. If you get it over 5 seconds, I would consider that that's a win. That's a big W if you get it over 3 seconds. If you get it the whole minute, you're you're a very, very talented individual. I'll just say that. Very talented. All right, give me one moment, guys. I have to do something. I don't like doing it, but I have to do it. But genuinely, I really enjoy putting out content. And some places, they're not so simple to get views. In other places, it's much more simple. And, YouTube is easily for me the best. I think YouTube is so huge. And Instagram is like the worst. I get no traction on Instagram. I've almost completely no, I haven't. I haven't at all, but I don't get much traction on Instagram, which is again my fault. You have to be introspective in this. And if you're not introspective, it will just you know, you're gonna face the same mistakes over and over again. So right now I'm going to set our we have a few backlogs on our newsletter slash blogs that we need to update. Okay, we already have that. And then we have, I can make that video. That was that already put on? The blog. Okay, great. So it's really just one on the 13th. And then I had that one on. Great. So I'm just trying to get this newsletter out. Additionally, trying to add our most recent essay. So we came out with a set of legal aspects for HOAs. Um, definitely need to heck yes. More. I think I just might have upset my dog with my chants. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Close this. All right, next thing that I want to do is the blog. That's what I want to do. So you come here. I need to figure out a way to add to my blog more automatically. Stoked about these images, though. Those images came out great. All right. Dash 02. Here we go. 0213. Okay. Great. Great. You know what's awesome about my page is that it's actually in Portuguese, so it actually indexes in Brazil, which is incredible. It doesn't index in Brazil as much as it does in the USA, but it still indexes in Brazil, and that's awesome. That's really awesome. One thing also I did was I went through a few of my old YouTube videos. And one thing is, I mean, for design of marketing assets, AI is fantastic because you try and do some Photoshop or photo editing yourself, you have to be an expert. But this is what I found with other complex softwares, specifically with a software like Fusion 360. Fusion 360 is a CAD software with electrical drawings. Actually, I'm sorry. I was designing a PCB, printed circuit board, on KiCad, and there are things that you want to do in software and you can't because you don't know how that software works. Well, with I mean, you can't shortcut creating a printed circuit board. I have a degree in electrical engineering and a certification in professional engineering with for electrical engineering. So I actually have a lot of base knowledge for something like that. But still, I don't have the knowledge of specifically a lot of dynamics within building a PCB. I definitely don't have the skills in KiCad or any sort of PCB design software. And using AI, it's certainly wrong, but you're able to build something and you're able to get really far. Where before you'd have no chance, you need someone who's an expert in that software, not just an expert in the field. And same here with basic marketing stuff and creating an asset, a marketing asset that looks appealing and is professional. You could put something out. It's really difficult to make it professional. But if you use AI, especially this Chrome based browser and Gemini uh, AI, Chrome based browser AI with Gemini, that's a lot. I mean, it knows a lot of context regarding the tools and it can help you be way more sophisticated. And you no longer have to be an expert in nearly anything, I would say. You have to have good taste, trust your taste, refine your taste, give yourself space to think more clearly, to think with more sense. There's a lot of nonsense in this world. And as a designer, one of your primary objectives is to weave through that nonsense and not allow it to integrate itself within your product, within your art, whatever it may be. The thumbnail is pretty funny. It's not good. Right. So in case you don't know these I usually go for 2 hours. And go for 2 hours daily. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to push this back to Monday. At least that's there. I'm going to push back the newsletter to Monday. It's just easier. This will do 2 p.m. I used to look at time, and time is important. I'm not gonna say it's not important, but it certainly shouldn't be your driver. It should be something. I saw something recently, and it was one of the number one reasons businesses go out of business is because they try to do something along the lines of they try to do too much before they scaled, and I completely get that. Um, I completely get that. You want to be very conscious of what you're putting out, the products you're putting out, how you're putting them out, and you have to be realistic about how you maintain customer value in your suite of products you already have. But for me too, one of the biggest things is adoptability. So making sure your product is way better than competitors to a degree where they don't give anything up, and it has to be in supplement. Usually has to be in supplement. All right, let's see. So today I have a few projects to get through. Let's see what we want to do now. Okay, that didn't go through. 0202. Hmm. All right. All right. All right. I'm gonna need to post more shit on TikTok. Sorry for cussing, guys. I should not cuss. Live streaming for 2 hours isn't easy. I mean, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it every day for a long time, straight up, or a long time, because it's the future, and it's just the future. It's just you have to be ready, and also I just enjoy it. Oh my goodness. I'm right now just adding that blog. Also need to get into HOA-based post for Zayuk across multiple ones of our formats, including TikTok and X. Great. Boom. New article will be pushed up. I think being kind is really important, but being kind and being a pushover are not synonymous. And the idea that nice guys finish last is not true. It's frankly not true. Last guys do not finish last. People who allow others to take advantage of them finish last. Don't turn yourself into a victim. At the same time, if there is a mechanism, a system, a person, a group around you that is lowering your quality of life in any domain, makes you upset all the time, might not be worth the effort fiscally, brings you a lot of stress. Don't allow yourself to be pushed over. Stand up for yourself. Have authority over your own domain. A lot of times that will require looking inwards rather than blaming others or seeing others as a cause of your issues, because when that occurs, you've given up agency. You've said, I am who I am, and that person is going to be able to dictate me. And of course, to some degree, that is true. We are humans, but we are in an age where you are more able to put boundaries around you in those scenarios. So nice guys don't finish last. People who allow themselves to be taken advantage of finish last. And those are not the same thing. If anything, being a kind person is refreshing. If you're kind and relentless, it's tough for people. It's really tough for people because you're relentless. It seems like you can't be controlled, but you're kind. So it's not necessarily like anyone wants to control you, because when you're kind and giving and you're providing value, but you're also relentless, it's a dangerous combination. Not many people have it. And not to say it's inherent within anything, but it's a dangerous combination. Okay, so putting that out, are there any holidays? I don't think so. Let me see. I target a lot of marketing to more or less three regions: Europe, North America, South America. And so almost everyone in Europe who we target, besides maybe France and Italy, they speak English. And so, we might need to bring in German and French and Italian, but certainly not now, not anytime soon. And so right now in our app, Zayuk, we have three languages: Brazilian Portuguese, Latin Spanish or Mexican Spanish, and English, United States English. So you can see the three types of customers we're really going for. It's really the entire new world, but also Europe because the market is fairly similar. So this week, today is Day of Andalusia in Spain. Not really sure what that is. 1980 referendum that granted the region its status of autonomous community of Spain. Baba Marta is tomorrow in Bulgaria. Welcoming spring and marking the end of summer. That's an early marking of spring, but that's pretty exciting. Moldova, independence movement in Korea, St. David's Day in the UK. National Day of Wales, commemorating the death of its patron saint in 589 AD. Welsh culture featuring parades, concerts, and traditional food with people wearing daffodils or leeks. Wow, that's a very interesting holiday. And that's tomorrow. And then Monday, you have many different. Australia has Labor Day. Spain has Day of the Balearic Islands. Israel has Fast of Esther and Purim Eve. Myanmar has Peasants' Day and Full Moon Day. Puerto Rico has American Citizenship Day. And U.S. has Texas Independence Day. What a day. I didn't realize there was a day for Texan independence. Anniversary of the 1836 adoption of the Texas Declaration of Independence from Mexico. 59 delegates at Washington on the Brazos signed the document formally creating the Republic of Texas. Celebrations include historic reenactments, festivals, and educational events throughout the state. Wow. Unbelievable. All right, let me just go to my website and make sure that blog was posted. And it functions properly. Yeah, it functions properly. Great. But I do need to put a little bit more into it, unfortunately. Great. Great. All right, guys, I'm here for 5 more minutes. Or we'll do 7, 8 more minutes. Oh, geez. Boom, 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 boom. And later today, I should be generating a model, which I'm super excited about. It should be pretty good. Should be pretty good. Let's see how it goes. All right. I'm going to actually cut this off now. You know what? I'm going to do 2 hours. I just got to do 2 hours. It's just the right thing to do. It's not easy though. It's not easy. All right. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Sorry everybody. I just got caught in in a whirlwind. I'm sure everyone knows a lot of current events going on, so it's just tough to not open something like that and not get caught. But we are moving on. Dude. Right. Let's go. Oh. All right. Let's see. Keep hammering, dude. Keep hammering. I'm going to just post another one, or at least get ready for it. Let's see. I have this clip for 2.5 minutes with 45 seconds of pauses, but no filler words. So obviously I'm using pauses instead of garbage words, which is way better. Garbage words are garbage. Give yourself the space to think rather than just blurt out nonsense, you know? And that's obviously, as I mentioned earlier today, one of my nonsense phrases where I might just say, oh, in the context to just allow myself to continue thinking. Right. Well, that was corrupted, obviously. That cut. Boom. I think got it. All right, guys. I'm done here for the day. Thank you so much. Happy Saturday. I won't be logging on tomorrow. So tomorrow won't be day 3. Day 3 will start on Monday. Hopefully you all have a great weekend ahead of you. Take care.